This is Wednesday, March 24th. Today's devotion is based on Luke chapter 10, verses 25 to 37, with key verse, "But a Samaritan, while traveling, came near him, and when he saw him, he was moved with pity. He went to him and bandaged his wounds, having poured oil and wine on them." Luke chapter 10, verses 33 and 34a. No matter how many times I read or hear this story, the physicality of the Samaritan's compassion touches me. The priest and the Levite go by on the other side of the road. They literally distance themselves from the wounded man in the ditch. The Samaritan goes closer, moved by pity. He gets down into the ditch with the suffering traveler. The text says, "He went to him and bandaged his wounds, having poured oil and wine on them." This hands-on care continues as the Samaritan transports the man to the inn and cares for him there. He provides funds for ongoing care and promises to return. All for a stranger. No wonder the lawyer answers Jesus with such speed and clarity when he asks, "Which of these do you think was a neighbor to the man who fell into the hands of the robbers?" Obviously, to even the lawyer who wanted to justify himself, the unequivocal answer is the one who showed mercy on him. Just as the cruelty of robbery entailed physical, close contact, so does the mercy that seeks to amend the injuries and pain. Healing cannot happen from a distance. Compassion moves us to act, to get into the ditch, to pour oil on the wounds and bandage them, to ensure the person brutalized and violated knows another side of humanity to strangers. In the summer of 2017, while living in Charlottesville, Virginia, I participated with other faith leaders in offering a counter-witness to what was deemed the Summer of Hate, when neo-Nazis and white supremacists rallied in the streets of our university town. The events of August 12th of that year turned Charlottesville from a place into an event. White supremacists, neo-Nazis, and a myriad of counter-protesters converged, and chaos and violence ensued. The experience marked a turning point in my own life of faith, facing the undeniable reality of deadly hate directed at Jews, African Americans, and anyone deemed not white, by those chanting blood and soil. Those events removed the naive scales from my eyes. Scales too many of my neighbors never had the luxury of wearing. Physical brutality invaded the streets. People were beaten, pepper sprayed, pelted with bottles of urine. My neighbors were terrorized. The physical beauty of compassion, though, refused to relent, even in the midst of AK-47s, cruel chants, and real and present danger. Strangers intervened, putting their bodies between those threatened with fists and weapons. Strangers set up tents and cradled in their laps those whose eyes burned with pepper spray, pouring water over their faces, wiping them dry with towels and their own shirts. Strangers huddled in prayer with those afraid, weeping and distraught. Those moved with pity went into the ditch toward the suffering and showed mercy. On that weekend of hate, countless people also became neighbors. The oil of compassion flowed in those violent streets. Frankly, we need more of it in all of our streets. Here are 3 questions for reflection. When you have been moved with pity to go towards someone in the ditch, literally or figuratively, what did you do once you got there? Number 2, have you ever been physically cared for by strangers? When has someone poured oil and wine on your wounds? Who has been a neighbor to you? To whom are you a neighbor? Please join me in prayer. Jesus, this very day, you are calling us to be neighbors to someone in need of mercy. As we go about our tasks and routines, help us to see those suffering in the ditch. Strengthen our faith in you in order to embolden us to move toward our neighbors in need of compassion. If we find ourselves wounded and afraid, send Samaritans to minister to us. May each encounter of this day make manifest our love for you and for our neighbors. Amen.